the drop passes and the tip balls playing a major effect on some of the struggles of the offense this season. What are you and the players doing to hold yourself accountable, either before or after practice, to kind of work on that to make sure that you can kind of eliminate or lessen that as the season progresses?
Yeah, I mean, those guys are always catching footballs. I mean, before, after practice, during practice. But I think for me, as a quarterback, I got to throw the ball in better places. Some of those drops are because the ball's not in the right placement. So if I can get the ball in a better place where it's more catchable, especially when they're in traffic, it'll probably cut down on those numbers. So it has as much to do with me as it does with them.
I guess the other question I would ask, do you feel, compared to 2019 after you all lost the AFC to the Patriots, trying to get to the Super Bowl in the following year, trying to run it back, do you feel that this team is still singularly focused on the task at hand, or do you feel like there might be some outside distractions?
No, I feel like we're focused. I mean, we've won 5 in a row. I mean, we might not be playing the best that we've played offensively, but as a team, we're coming together and winning football games. And so for us, we know we can get a lot better, but it's going to take the mindset every single day of continue to get better and better. And you want to be playing your best football going into this part of the season. So hopefully we can continue to build and get better as the season goes on.
Patrick, what's it mean to you to see Tyrann be your Walter Payton Award nominee? And I have a follow-up after that.
Yeah, no, it's awesome because you know the work that he puts in, not only on the field but off the field as well. And he's done it in every single community that he's been in, from Arizona, New Orleans, Houston to now Kansas City. I mean, he's always given back to the community, and I'm grateful for him to be a leader on this team, to be such a great person, and I'm very happy for him to have this honor and hopefully have a chance to go out there and win it.
And when you think of him, does that, the way he is with the community, does it track with him as a teammate? I just wonder, obviously, that all the things he does in that locker room, is that pretty good parallel?
Yeah, he truly cares about people. I think that's the biggest thing. I mean, he came up in a rougher part, and so he understands how much the impact of other people can be to bring out greatness in everyone. And so for him to be able to be in this locker room and be such a leader, it sets an example for everybody on how you should act on and off the field.
You guys were known, especially when you first started, explosive plays, big plays. You're much lower this year in explosive plays. Can you put your finger at this point of the season on what factors are leading to that?
I mean, obviously defenses are playing different types of defenses, so that has an effect on it. And then I've missed a good amount of them. You look over the season, there's been a couple, even the last game, the one over the middle to Tyreek. I mean, if I hit those throws that I've hit in the past, then we'll have those explosive plays. And so it's going to take me being better, hitting those throws when they're there, because the defenses are limited them. And for whenever we do have that shot, kind of like I said, I got to hit it, and I haven't done that these last few weeks.
Patrick, the way that some of the interceptions have occurred, and maybe this answer is not at all, but how does that affect you?
Yes, it doesn't. I mean, it just happens. It's part of football. Luckily enough, our defense is playing good enough that whenever they've happened, they've been able to get stops and get turnovers or whatever it is, and not let it impact the team. But you understand that turnovers are a huge part of this game. Luckily, our defense is getting a lot of turnovers, and we're still winning that turnover battle. But I'll try to limit them as much as possible. But at the same time, I have to be me, and I have to continue to throw the football and give guys chances to make plays.
Patrick, when you have those incidents happen, drop passes, tip balls, what's your mindset? Do you try and go back to those receivers immediately? Do you give them a few plays to kind of get back, to themselves, or how do you handle those situations?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to go through the play regardless of who's at what position and what the read is. Coach Reed usually does a job of kind of maneuvering it till we're getting it back to him pretty quickly there. But I mean, like I said, some of the drop passes people get hung up on. I mean, even the one in the game that got intercepted, if I throw the ball in a better spot, he makes the catch and probably splits and scores. But I threw it high, hard, and it gets tipped up and picked, and people kind of put it on him, but it's really on me to make a better throw. So, I mean, just for myself, to try to make some better throws and let those guys have easier catches, especially in traffic, where they can make plays happen after the catch.
How do you prepare differently when you're playing a division opponent like, last week Denver, this week Raiders, next week the Chargers? Knowing what's at hand, knowing that you win these games, you might have the division a little bit sewn up. How does that prepare you on differently?
Yeah, you have to focus on each week, just as important. But you understand when you play a division opponent like the Raiders or the Broncos or the Chargers, that you're going to get the best that they have. They've been studying all offseason to play you. That they know that it's a big game for them as well as it is for us. And so we know we're going to get their best shot. And so we have to prepare ourselves for a physical battle. We're going to play 4 quarters of great football in order to get a win.
Go ahead, Nate. Lebo and then Matt.
Okay. You mentioned before how teams are obviously playing you a little bit differently. There's a little bit more zone, obviously too high look. How much of that is impacting whether or not you want to scramble? And, you know, there's been times in the past, I'm sure, on third down where if it's man coverage, you have some lanes to sort of run within. Are teams doing anything differently to sort of keep your scramble numbers down, or are you trying to focus on obviously completing the pass?
Yeah, I mean, teams are doing a pretty good job of when they rush, they kind of stay in certain lanes. They're not they don't get over aggressive to let me scramble out and do stuff like that. And our offensive line is doing such a great job of blocking that I usually have time in the pocket to just maneuver that. Yeah, I mean, we've seen zone coverages before. Obviously, they're playing a little deeper than we're used to, but you should be by now because it's happened kind of this whole middle part to the end of the season. So it's just finding ways to execute, finding ways to get the ball in my hand, make some better passes, complete some throws, and continue the drives, kind of how we've been starting drives, and that's with touchdowns.
I know you like to watch football. I'm assuming you watch Monday night, that crazy win and all that. You've tried to exercise a lot of patience this year with the way people have played. Did you think you could have gone through a game and only thrown 3 passes? How hard would that be to deal with something like that?
Yeah, I mean, you definitely, as a quarterback, you go out there, you want to throw the ball and score and do all different type of stuff, but I think I'd feel better if we won. So, I mean, if you throw 3 passes, you win the football game against a division opponent that's right there with you at the top of the AFC, I think at the end of the day, you're going to be happy going home.
Patrick, I've asked this question before, but you guys keep winning, so it's worth asking again. What does it say about you guys as a team? Do you think that you can start 3-4, but then rattle off 5 straight wins, be 8-4, and have all your goals right here in front of you?
Yeah, I mean, it's you got a lot of guys, a lot of leaders in this room that know how to deal with adversity. They know how to go throughout the process, and I think a lot of guys that know how to just win football games. And you've seen it. People have talked about it. We're not winning the same way as we've always won, but it takes a lot of leaders to be able to win the football game no matter how it's played. And so to be able to have defense to step up the way they've been playing, the offense making drives whenever they need to win football games, it shows the type of guys we have in this locker room.
Thanks, Patrick.
Thanks, Patrick.